Previously in episode 1, Obawode commanded Obalola to marry Abeke or any Oba woman within 7 days, or risk losing his status as the heir apparent to the throne. Obalola engaged Taiwo to stop his father from disowning him, but a few days to their wedding day, it disappeared mysteriously. Arerara is still searching for him. Taiwo was the worst hit. She almost ran mad, and then she fell sick. Her family thought she would die, but they put in all their efforts to revive her, adopting all the healing methods they could think of. Fortunately, she recovered months later, and she tried to move on. It was the most difficult period of her life. She didn't know whether Obalola deliberately left her or someone evil abducted him. Nobody was saying anything meaningful about his disappearance. The shame of losing him suddenly, days before the wedding, was too much for her, especially because of how the other ladies who had also wanted him would be jeering at her. Kehinde stood by her sister and became her strongest ally. They pulled through the tough period until the tension surrounding the incident dispersed. Everyone soon forgot about it and carried on with their normal lives. Not even Taiwo's rivals paid attention to her anymore. 1 year later, Obawode became seriously sick, and the royal family were busy doing everything within their power to resuscitate him. Believing that his time was near, he quickly made Bashiri, his second son, the heir apparent, stripping Obalola of the title in absentia. For 4 months, Obawode was on his sickbed, his health deteriorating each day. Many believed that he would die. One day, a strange-looking man with dreadlocks and shabby garments appeared in the village, and he made his way to the palace. Everyone who saw him watched him in awe. Some speculated that he resembled the missing prince who had been lost over 1 year earlier. The stranger arrived at the palace gate and revealed his identity to the guards as Obalola. The guards examined him and he passed the test, confirming that he was truly Obalola. They sent messages to his mother, Queen Alanu, who dashed out in excitement to welcome him back home. As soon as the news reached his ailing father, Obawode felt better and requested for his presence. Once Obalola came into his father's chamber, he fell on his knees and wept, seeking forgiveness. He admitted that he wasn't worthy of forgiveness from his father, but he only pleaded for mercy, even if he would be punished by death. He said he was ready to accept whatever penalty the king deemed fit to give him. He confessed that he intentionally absconded from the village very early on that fateful morning because he couldn't keep up with the lies anymore. He never loved Taiwo and was not ready to marry, either to Taiwo or to any other girl. The thought of tying the knot with a woman he never loved nor wanted to be with just to please his father scared him to death. He couldn't even face her to tell her the truth that he had been deceiving her all this while. He only wanted to please his father so that he wouldn't lose his royal birthright. Taiwo was a victim of circumstances, but he didn't want to continue deceiving her and his own family, so he chickened out and escaped into a faraway village without telling anyone. In the faraway village, he worked as a labourer for many businessmen and chiefs. They didn't even care that he was a prince of Arerara village. At first, his new life was hell, but later he got used to it. However, his guilty conscience wouldn't let him be. He knew he must return home and apologize to everyone he had wronged. Then he heard the news from the traders who had come from Arerara to the village where he was working. They told him that Obawode was sick, and they also spread the rumor around that village. So Obalola left his current master and summoned the courage to come back home. Obawode was too happy and too weak at the same time to be mad at Obalola anymore. He forgave him instantly and reinstated him as a prince, but he didn't restore him as the heir apparent, and Obalola willingly accepted the new developments. Baba, I'm not even interested in contesting for the throne from Bashir. Never. Who am I? Hmm. I'm not worthy of that privilege at all, he said with humility. Bami, accepting him back as your son is more than I could have asked for. Baba, thank you. Eshe, Baba. Eshe, thank you so much. Thank you. Eshe. Obalola joined his family in looking after his father, and within weeks of his return, Obawode's health improved so much that even his physicians were stunned. Obawode could sit up by himself, eat well, and even stand on his feet for some minutes. These were things he couldn't do in the past until Obalola came back home. Gradually, he became whole again and was reinstalled to his throne. Although he wasn't as healthy as he used to be, he was strong enough to continue ruling. Obalola was instrumental in Obaowode's healing process. Obalola was very proactive and devoted, never hesitating to carry out any task needed to heal his father. It was as if he was determined to redeem himself. He later cut off his dreadlocks and changed his looks, improving his appearance and putting behind him his past while on exile. While this was going on, people noticed a drastic change in him. He was calmer, friendlier, and humble. He attempted several times to meet with Taiwo and her family. Her family, including Kehinde, accepted his explanations and forgave him. But it took him more than 1 month before Taiwo herself agreed to give him the chance to explain himself to her. She was still deeply hurt by what he did to her. By now, she was already seeing someone else. Her private relationship with Ayola, the popular blacksmith's son, had been good. They had been engaged for 6 months and were already talking about marriage. Yet, seeing her first love again, Obalola, melted her heart, and she was hopeful that he had come back to rekindle their love. Both of them met under a tree. Obalola knelt down before Taiwo and pleaded tearfully, telling her the truth about his intentions. He wanted her to forgive him and he promised never to hurt her or anyone again. But he made it clear that he still didn't love her and was not interested in being in a relationship with her or any woman for that matter. But he just wanted to rectify his past mistakes. Taiwo burst to tears when she heard that. Why couldn't Obalola just try to reciprocate her affection for him? She was even ready to break up with Ayola if only Obalola had asked her to come back to him. But Obalola stood his ground. Taiwo, never in my entire life would I ever deceive you again, Obalola explained. I can't lie to you and make you continue to live a lie. That's why I ran away that time. Please, Taiwo, try to understand and accept the truth. Ayola loves you. He is the man for you, not me. Taiwo yelled in desperation. But it's you that I love. Can't you see? Even if you don't love me, let my love cover for both of us. Please, Obalola. They dragged the issue for a long time until Taiwo lost her voice and power to keep fighting. Finally, with Obalola still begging her for forgiveness and understanding on his knees, she surrendered and accepted the reality. I've forgiven you, Obalola, and I promise to let you go, she declared mournfully, tears streaming down her eyes. Obalola was elated to be free finally. He prostrated himself before her in appreciation and even asked her to be his friend. Taiwo declined and said that being close to him would be dangerous for them both. They parted on a friendly note, each satisfied with the outcome of the meeting. Obalola also vowed to support her relationship with Ayola in any way that he could. In the months that followed, Obalola made new friends because of his new personality as a friendly person. He was no longer haughty or arrogant. He related with the villagers and even participated in many community services and projects. Kehinde was among his new cycle of friends, enjoying his company and jokes. Kehinde encouraged Taiwo to be his friend too, since there was no longer romance or anything intimate between them. But Taiwo refused because she didn't want to torture her emotions anymore. Although Kehinde's closeness to Obalola troubled Taiwo slightly, she didn't put it to heart because she believed that their relationship was ordinary and platonic. Besides, there were other females among Obalola's new friends too. It was almost 1 year since Obalola came back home. He started getting closer to Kehinde than usual because she was very loyal and funny. In his cycle of friends, Kehinde was among the most trusted ones he could rely on. They would hang out alone at the hotspot in the village, even late into the night. Kehinde just loved being around him because he was generous and jovial. He was never empty-handed. It's either he gave her beads or big chunks of meat he took out from the palace kitchen. He once gave her a beautiful shawl. She loved it so much and always wore it wherever she went to. She vowed to remain his friend. She once encouraged him to get himself a girlfriend and marry soonest because he wasn't getting any younger. They had become so close that they could talk to each other about just anything. He told her that soon he would settle down. Kehinde saw the humanity side of him that he never displayed before the incident that led to his escape from the village. The situation really changed him greatly, and she loved his new person more. One day, when their other friends had left their palm wine hangout spot, Kehinde stayed behind with Obalola, drinking and bantering with him while laughing hysterically. Kehinde me, marry me, Obalola suddenly said. Kehinde froze, and the calabash of palm wine in her right hand dropped to the ground, shattering to pieces. She paused, maybe because she was drunk. She didn't hear him well. But Obalola repeated himself with a more serious tone and even moved closer to her. He took her hands in his and stared directly into her eyes.